Today, I'm very, 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 very excited to share with you what the heck having a championship mindset means and why it's important for you and your team to have it. I actually stole this phrase, not stole, I think it's like a community-wide phrase, but championship mindset, I took it from Oklahoma. Like, let's be real. One of the most successful teams in the NCAA, when it comes down to championships, they have some of the best hitters in the world, some of the best hitters in the world. Some of them are showing their stuff on Athletes Unlimited right now, which is epic. So they've taken this phrase called championship mindset. And I want to tell you guys what on earth that means. So first of all, in the comments, please share with me what you think championship mindset is. And let's see if I answer it within my responses here. What do you think having a championship mindset means for you? So first of all, I believe having a championship mindset means never take no for an answer. So let's say an umpire calls a bad call and it takes away a run from your team. Well, instead of feeling bad about it, a championship team would actually approach that as, okay, here's some adversity that's punching us in the gut. Let's get after it. Let's find another way to get a run. That's how a championship team thinks. When adversity comes their way, they are like, how do we pivot? How do we change our mindset? How do we actually come out of this on top, even when we have some sort of adversity within us? So that's what a championship team does. They never take no for an answer. So if people are telling them, oh, there's no way that you're going to get past a regional, or you're not going to get past, let's say a semifinal or whatever, that type of team uses that as fuel, and they use it to go win a national championship. And that's something that Oklahoma does. They are very good at winning national championships. They're very good at knowing themselves. So that's a segue into the next thing. If you want to be a championship team, if you want to have a championship mindset, hashtag championship mindset, you have to think like you're a champion. Okay. You have to think like the champions think. You have to, listen to Muhammad Ali and see what Michael Jordan's saying and see what Steph Curry is saying. All these elite athletes, they always say that success leaves clues. Well, let me tell you what, championship teams, they think they act like they're going to go win the championship. Okay. They put themselves in the shoes of winning championships. Danielle said championship mindset means to her commitment. Heck yes. It's committing to the team's goal, committing to your own goals, having the dedication behind it to make that goal or that dream happen. Huge. So it's not just commitment within yourself. You have to buy in and find the commitment within the entire team as well. Danielle, great one. 2026 catcher Danny 33. It's a long name, but thankfully I got it right. She says that championship mindset means to her mindset of I will, not I can't. Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Snaps for her. Give me a thumbs up if you guys agree with that one. I agree. It's one where it's saying, when adversity comes again, it's like saying, I will do this. I will overcome. I will hit a double here. I will do something great for my team instead of I can't do something. So let's put this for example. So I used to play college softball, played at Purdue, if you guys don't know that. And one thing that was absolutely epic when it came down to mindset was we used to run these 300-yard shuttles. And I'm telling you right now, 300-yard shuttles are not easy. I used to have to run it in like under a minute. And it's basically a 25 yard down and back 6 times. So it's down and back is 1, down and back is 2. 6 times. It's a lot of turns, a lot of sprinting. So a lot of times, there were athletes that couldn't make it. And there were times where I even felt like I couldn't make it because 60 seconds is so fast. You guys probably can't get a grasp of it because if you've never done it, you don't understand. But that mindset of I can't do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. It's very scary, right? But knowing that if you say I will, you are more likely going to figure out a way to make it happen. So 202 catcher 33, you are so right. So when most people say that they can't do something, championship teams, they think that they can. They will find a way to do it. They don't know how they're going to get there, but they find a way. Championship mindset. It also means, by the way, keep telling me what you think of championship mindset means to you. Me, it means that you win at all costs. Okay. So having a championship mindset means you are going to win no matter how, and that's just on the brain. You're going to win no matter how you're going to do it. You're going to figure it out. Okay. So when all odds are against you, championship teams, they find a way to still grit and grind and find a way to win. Does that mean they always win? No. There is no team that is perfect. I think there was like 1 year, there was one team that was absolutely perfect in their season, and it's just unheard of. But I will tell you that they were probably perfect in their season because they thought perfect. They thought, what is it going to take to win every single game? And they grit and they grinded. And even the close games, they found a way to win. So those of you who are even down by 4 runs or down by 3 runs, you need to do a gut check. Like, championship teams are not going to fold when, I almost said a bad word, when things aren't going well. Okay. Championship teams, things don't go well and they say, okay, what are we going to change? How are we going to figure out how to win? Like, clearly some things aren't working. We're going to have to make an adjustment. So championship teams are not going to just fold when things don't go their way, which I want you to be honest with yourself right now. What does your team do? Does your team fold when things don't go well? Does your team fold when, let's say, you're down by a run or 2 in the first inning? Tell me what you guys do and be honest, because if you are lying to yourself right now and saying, oh no, like, we don't do that, and then this upcoming weekend, y'all are down by 2 runs in the first inning and give up for the rest of the game, that's not what championship teams do. Championship teams come back, they grit and they claw and they find a way. They steal bases that nobody thinks that they can steal. They dive for every single ball. They go all out all the time. All right? That's a winner's mindset. You find a way to win. You dive for balls that most people wouldn't. You surprise yourself with diving plays when most people probably wouldn't even dive in that situation. Championship teams that I want you guys to follow. Now, hear me out here. UCLA, Oklahoma, Florida, Florida State, Michigan. Man, I know there's so many more. Washington. These are just a couple. By the way, Oklahoma, the one who came up with championship mindset. These are just a few of the championship mindset teams out there that do whatever it takes to win. All right. Does that mean every single game they're perfect? No, they are not perfect, but they find a way to make the most of every situation. All right. Now, if your team needs a little pick me up here and your team needs a little help being that person, being that, light, trying to figure out how to win and grit and claw your way to a win, it all can start with one person. Okay. It all can start with one person. Even if the entire team right now doesn't believe they can win, it takes one person and one hit. And honestly, coaches, if you coaches are on here right now, it starts with you. So if coaches don't believe that you can, you don't likely believe you can win either. But if you have a coach who believes that you can do this, or you have a player on the team who believes that you can do this, or even parents in the stands that are like, find a way, you can do it one hit at a time, and can get yourselves back into that mindset, that's what championship mindset is. It's not being perfect. It's being thrown adversity and figuring out a way to grit and claw your way back into the game. Okay. Whatever it takes, that's championship mindset team needs. Now, before I start answering your guys' questions, feel free to ask me some questions in the comments. I will get to those in a second. But seriously, the last thing that I want to say championship teams do that non-championship teams don't do is they have high standards. They have high standards. I think my teeth kind of look blue on Instagram. Sorry, guys. I don't know why they're blue. High standards are everything. Okay. So here's the deal. Having high standards means not slowing down before you get to first when you're sprinting. When you guys have some sort of shuttle runs or you have to start on the line, are people starting on the line or in front of the line? Are they touching the line on sprints? Having high standards means everyone on the team has to know that it's their job to go all out and do not cheat the system. Do not cheat your way to success. You have to have high standards. When you have a chance to get a ball, you're always diving. When you hit a shot to left field and there's a bobble with the left fielder, your standards are high enough to go take 2 because it's wide open for you. Don't settle for anything less. So these are just a couple ways that championship teams truly think about the next play, but also just have high standards. What's an example of high standards for your team? How do you lead your team to high standards? Steven on Facebook says, getting into a pickle is one way to get the teammates in the dugout on the fence. Well, yeah, that's true. But here's my issue. If you guys are losing and you need that run, then maybe not get into a pickle. But absolutely, there's it's putting pressure on the defense is another way to put in high standards and all get people excited. I got in some pickles sometimes, and yes, it does get the team excited. But just find ways to, hold yourselves to the highest standard. Now, holding yourself to a higher standard, it can mean, simple things like showing up 15 minutes early when you're supposed to be there, on time. High standards could mean staying late. Like if you had an error in that game, making sure that you're working on, okay, that backhand is the reason why you committed the error, staying after the game to work on backhands. That's a way of holding yourself to a high standard, not settling for mediocrity. All right. That is an example of what championship teams do. And a championship mindset, it could start with one person. So here's the deal. If your team is not really that motivated or excited to play sometimes, if you hold yourself to a high standard and you start showing up and doing your thing and getting the most hits on the team and being very consistent and just thriving, that in itself is electric. That in itself can move a team. So if you're saying, oh my gosh, well, my team, they're not motivated, blah, 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 I'm always doing this stuff and nobody's following, it's not your job to control your teammates. It's your job to control the energy. So if you have bad energy, your team's going to have bad energy. We talked about energy vampires last week in the live. If you guys want to learn more about the energy vampire conversation, it's on my YouTube channel, Ashley Burkhardt Training, if you guys are interested in that. But that is one thing where high standards simply mean that you're going above and beyond always. And, no matter if it's just a nice, easy rep day where you're going for reps, are you taking your reps just like nonchalantly, no pressure? You don't take a strong first step. You're just leading off of bases lazy. That is not what a championship team does, y'all. Championship teams, they take advantage of everything. They're always ready. They're always in the play. They're always looking for more. They are always trying things that other teams are scared to try. That's what having a championship mindset means. All right. And I wanted to get that across because not every team is full of championship mindset people. Some championship mindset teams, great teams, they win a lot. They're not completely full of people with the championship mindset, but when it's needed, they are. And that starts with one person. So if you're saying my team, they don't do this very well. They're not good at being a part of the championship mindset, mentality. Fine. But that doesn't mean that you get to lower your standards because you have goals. And a way you can get your team on board with being a championship mindset team is telling your team your goals and reminding the team their goals. You remind the team of what their goals are. That's being a leader, and great things happen. And if you hold yourself to a high standard, you have big time goals for yourself, and you hold everybody around you to high standards to make sure you guys are all in on that one goal that you have as a team. Great things will happen.